Judy Vincini really believes in financing her lunatic serial killer son while he is on the run. I never saw so many euros in my life. Hell, I can get by in Paris for a while and then make my way to the plastic surgeon. Well, better get out the castle entrance fast while Caprice is still knocked unconscious and before Eric gets back here and discovers I've stolen most of his money. Okay, I am out of here. Time to start a new life.
Oh boy, I'm really going to get her now. That damn Sharon, I knew I should have killed her instead of letting Mom hold her prisoner here. Now she's knocked Caprice out and escaped and stolen nearly all of my euros Mom left me. Thank God I've still got the 2 credit cards. That trace back to Vincini personnel. I wonder where Doreen was when all this was going on. Wonder if my little blind girlfriend is somehow in on it. Or maybe she was just down there watching TV. I knew I should keep a better eye on the both of them. Go out for a walk, have a little fun, come back, and she cleaned me out. She cleaned me out. Oh, that's all right. She can't have gotten far, and she can't get away for long. I'll take care of Sharon. Well,
that castle door's wide open. Something's going on. I don't know what. I'm glad I came back here. Should have gone and stopped and got some French inspectors to accompany me, but it is what it is. I'm going on back in there. Somehow I'll get past Caprice and take a look around that castle. All right, I'm going in.
Sorry, Lieutenant Skitters, you simply shouldn't have come out. Back here. I told you Count Pedestrian was gone, and I assure you I am nothing but loyal to Count Pedestrian. Very sorry, Lieutenant Skitters, that I had to knock you unconscious, but I'm afraid you can't be snooping around this castle, nor can I allow you to leave. I'm afraid I'm going to have to keep you down in the dungeon. It would appear that Sharon knocked me out and made her escape. Back of my head certainly very, very sore. I don't hear anybody else anywhere near, so I'm going to have to drag you down the stairs into the dungeon and chain you up, Lieutenant Skitters. I'm afraid you're now going to be a prisoner here in Castle Pedestrian, a prisoner of Count Pedestrian.
Crime news. French police today discovered the mutilated bodies of 2 young women in a village just a few miles outside Paris, France. Both French and Interpol authorities indicated that both slayings appear to be the work of the Murgatroyd serial killer who was recently identified as the prime suspect in the mutilation slaying of Blatzen the artist. Lieutenant Skitters of Murgatroyd has flown to Paris to aid in the investigation and the apprehension of the Murgatroyd serial killer. In business news today, Judy Vincini hosted a lavish lunch party for Mayor Perenxi and local Murgatroyd officials and assured them that she was recovering well after escaping her kidnappers a few weeks ago.
France, here I come. I've got enough euros to live well for quite some time and still get to that plastic surgeon. Especially if I meet some wealthy French guy and get involved with him. But for now, just a tour of the city will do. Who the hell is that strange guy in the black hat? The Eiffel Tower, alas, my poor dumb friend Blatson, that arrogant fool. The scene of his brutal slaying makes the Eiffel Tower also irritate me now. Anyway, on to the rest of the city. The Louvre, of course. Oh, how Blatson would have loved all the fine paintings, all the great works of art. And the Arc de Triomphe, of course. What a great city in the daytime, but just wait until I hit the Paris nightlife. I can really break out the red gloves tonight and hit all the hot clubs. Who on earth is that guy in the black hat who keeps showing up everywhere I go? Is he following me?
Welcome to the Apocalypse Hour with Father Lucian Damiano, the herald of that which is to come. Attention all, attention everyone, everywhere. Father Lucian Damiano has a message for the masses.
All you good people everywhere here in the audience, out there in the television audience, and all over the country and all over the world. This is Father Lucian Damiano. I'm here to give you a message. And it's the message that I received. And that message is, folks, it's over. The party's over. The lights are fixing to be cut out. It's going to be the end, people. I don't know why you're going out and buying new cars and buying new houses and all wasting all that money on all those material goods. It ain't going to do you any good. It's coming to an end, folks. It's going to go in a flash. You're going to be gone. There's nothing going to be left. Power grid's going down. Everything's going down. Transportation's going down. Humanity's going down. They're going to be wiped out by plagues and diseases. Ain't going to be any of you left. What ones are left will be preying on the rest of them. You'll be going from house to house stealing other people's food. Look at you. I can look at this whole group. Most of you are crack babies to begin with. So it's not like the genetic pool has suddenly been improved. God might be doing the world a favor when half the humanity gets destroyed in this apocalypse that's coming. Saving up canned goods ain't going to go and do you any good. You're not going to be able to operate. There ain't going to be no electricity to operate your microwave. You know, I mean, come on. What you going to do? Just eat it raw out of the cans? That's what you're going to do. You know? I guess you could store up, boxes and boxes of crackers and live off of them, maybe. I don't know. For how long? How long is it going to last you? How long is it going to last you? Half of you don't know how to grow a garden. Half of you ain't going to have a place to grow it anyway. You'd be scrambling for cover when the end starts. You ain't going to be able to survive. And I can look at half the ones in this room. They ain't going to be able to survive. It's coming, y'all. It's coming. The end's coming. It's coming. I can tell you what you can do. I've got to go to San Diego next week, and that's clear across the country. And there's a huge stadium full of people going to be waiting for me out there. Well, it costs money to get out there. So that brand new, you out there in the listening audience there on TV, that brand new microwave oven that you bought last year, that brand new microwave oven, I want you to take it down to the pawn shop and pawn it, and I want you to send me the money. that flat screen you just bought last week or week before last, or maybe it was last month, I want you to take that pawn. Take it down there to the pawn shop. Take that flat screen to the pawn shop. I want you to pawn it. I want you to send me the money. You know, forget about the light bill. Ain't going to be nothing left. Ain't going to be no lights anyway. What's the use of you paying your light bill when the electricity's not going to exist, folks? Send me the money. Send me the money. I can go out there to San Diego and warn the rest of the bunch out there in person. I can warn those people. I can get them ready. Prepare for the end. You're not going to be able to do it. You're not going to be able to prepare. You don't know how to prepare. But I can tell you how to prepare. Just like I'm going to San Diego to tell those people how to prepare. In fact, that will be the next subject of my next sermon, will be how to prepare for the end that's coming. Now that you know that it's coming, you know that everything's going to be gone, there ain't going to be nothing left, how can you prepare for it? Well, I'm going to teach all of y'all how to prepare. And this has been Father Lucian Damiano. Be careful. You best take care. Well, the great Lieutenant Skitters. I wouldn't believe it if I hadn't seen it here with my own eyes. Boy, Caprice really nailed a big one now. Well, Lieutenant Skitters, of course you know I could eviscerate you right this moment if I wanted, or I could fillet you or do any number of things with my handy little butcher knife, but I find having you down here as a prisoner immensely entertaining. I guess Count Pedestrian's not near as dumb as I thought he was. He instructed Caprice very well. Hell, if it had been me, you'd already be dead. Caprice is very inventive, though. He just simply decided to hold you prisoner. And I can't say it was a bad decision at all, because I'm going to have enormous entertainment out of it. Oh, jeez. I don't suppose you've met my blonde girlfriend, Doreen, yet, have you? I'll have to bring her down here. And don't worry, Lieutenant Skitters, you'll be fed well, and it will just be assumed, I guess, all over Europe that you're tracking me down. By the way, I don't suppose, being a prisoner down here, you've heard about my handiwork last night, have you? Yes. 2 young damsels in distress, 2 innocent young ladies in the village outside Paris, and I'm afraid their days came to an end. Those 2 young ladies are, alas, no longer with us. A guy gets bored in a big castle like this. I had to get out, stretch my legs. What can I say? I need a little entertainment of my own. What can I say? You know, blindie's fine, you know, when I want to get laid, but geez, a guy's got to go out and have some other kind of fun sometimes, you know what I mean? Oh, well, Lieutenant Skitters, you'll be taken very good care of down here in the dungeon, and I will come down and entertain you occasionally. Oh, every time I claim another victim, I'll come and let you know about it, maybe even show you a few pictures or whatever. Hell, we might even get some sort of satellite reception TV down here for you, where you'll be able to keep up with the news of your, eventually they'll discover you're missing, that you're disappeared, I'm sure. Oh, well, I'll have moved on long before that. Me and Doreen are going to travel off to another castle at some point, haven't decided where or when. There's so many countries in Europe. I could just go from one place to another, you know. I mean, France is nice. I've done black with these 2 girls. I suppose I should hit Rome next, and I could cut a path across most of the major European countries. I suppose I've never done Eastern Europe. I suppose there's lots of young peasant girls in Romania who could become my victims. Oh, well, a guy's got to plan ahead, especially when he's on the run. Well. I've enjoyed our little visit, Lieutenant Skitters, but I'm afraid I have to go now. There's a blind girl upstairs waiting for me. She's got dinner waiting, and I'm hungry.
cielo has descended over the castle of Count Pedestrian. The Count has returned to the castle after a very important trip. Meanwhile, in the dungeon deep below the castle, a detective named Lieutenant Skitters languishes in shackles, chained to the wall as a prisoner while the serial killer he came to help apprehend is on the loose in the countryside claiming victims in nearby villages.
Greetings, sir. Count Pedestrian. Welcome back. I hope that you had a very nice trip. Caprice. I did. I had a very, very successful trip. You seem a little nervous. Is there something you're not telling me, Caprice? You see, I talked with our house guest, Doreen, and she informs me that Sharon Cielo escaped. Of course, you know I should fire you for your incompetence. You have any excuse for yourself? Any explanation? Well, sir, she seduced me. She seduced me. Caprice, you know, you've always been at liberty to go and pick up your old trash from any of these clubs in Paris and bring them here to the castle if you must fulfill your manly needs. But allowing this Sharon Cielo, the prisoner of my friend Judy Vincini, to escape, this is absolutely intolerable. What else do you have to say for yourself? Well, sir, I do have something important to report, sir. I think you'll be quite pleased. You see, you have another prisoner now down in the dungeon. Lieutenant Skitters came snooping around, and I knew that you didn't want him here in the castle, and I got rid of him the first time, but of course he came back. Sir, I did what I had to do to protect you. You know my loyalty is only to you, Count Pedestrian. You've done well, Caprice. You've done well. I suppose I should go down and pay the dear lieutenant a visit. Perhaps I'll bring him a bottle of our best wine. Go and fetch one, would you please? That will be all, Caprice. You're off the hook for the time being. Remember, you're welcome to go into Paris to one of the clubs and find a young lady there if you must. I realize you're here 24/7 and get very little recreation. All right, go get that wine bottle so I can go down and talk to dear Lieutenant Skitters. Today for an exclusive interview with Italian director Anastas Bulini, who has decided to take on a mammoth project. He is going to do a new motion picture on the Murgatroyd serial killer. So tell us, Anastas Bulini, tell us about your plans. Well, first of all, we are going to recreate all of the gory, grisly, bloody murder scenes in and around Murgatroyd, all 22 victims. We're going to have to meticulously recreate all of the crime scenes. And then, of course, we're going to film. We're going to recreate this the murder of blacks and the artist, you know, in Paris, France, the Eiffel Tower. We're going to film meticulously recreate the murder of this artist from Murgatroyd, this blacks, and it is going to be an international hit. This is going to be the most awesome blockbuster project that I have ever approached. Yes, the Murgatroyd serial killer. This is going to be a smash hit. Ladies and gentlemen, you had it yourself here. This is Stuff Gowl, and this has been an interview with the Italian director, Anastas Bulini. pedestrian. You've been harboring this serial killer all along. Rich, powerful guys like you hide behind diplomatic immunity and think you're above the law. And it may very well be that I can't finger you. After all, I'm chained to this wall. But remember this. Eric just bragged earlier about having slain 2 females here in France, and we know he killed Blackson. You know the authorities are going to come looking for me the minute it's realized that I've disappeared. I don't suppose you possibly think you can get away with this, Count Pedestrian, even with your diplomatic immunity. Lieutenant Skitters, you talk very, very brave for a man who is chained to the wall, shall we say. But I do admire your spunk. Be careful some of this wine. It's quite a nice vintage, I might add. Yes, I'm afraid I can't do a great deal with Eric. You're lucky he didn't eviscerate you or slice and dice you earlier. I'm afraid I can't control the young man. He's got his own mind. Poor Blatson. I may have had a falling out with him and lost all respect for him long ago back in Murgatroyd when I kicked him out of my mansion, but I certainly didn't want to see him die that hideous death. I'm here to the castle. You're quite correct. I have no intentions of allowing you to die, nor do I allow you to be discovered here in my castle. So, I suppose you do understand. This means I will be moving you. You will be transported to another location. Haven't quite decided where, but trust me, you'll be the first to know when I get ready to move you. Now, here. I know you must be uncomfortable chained to that wall. Have a sip of this wine. It's the least you can do to relax there. It's a wonderful wine. You'll be fed well, Lieutenant Skitters, until I decide where to put you. Good evening, Lieutenant Skitters. I hope you sleep well. So, this sick bastard is here. He killed blacks in the office, and then he has killed 2 young women in a village here outside Paris. He offended my daughter. Her honor must be avenged. Lieutenant Skitters is a good and noble man, but he is no match for this serial killer. I shall take him out. I shall lurk and hide and stalk and use my ninja skills at night here in the village. He will resurface. He will reappear. He will attempt to kill more innocent women. And I shall have vengeance for my young innocent daughter who was attacked by this swine. He shall die. I shall eliminate for all time the Murgatroyd serial killer. He shall feel the wrath of my sword. He shall, for all time, be destroyed. It shall be done. Well, Lieutenant Skitters, I promised you I would introduce you to a girl. She is, Lieutenant. Doreen, meet Lieutenant Skitters. Lieutenant Skitters, meet Doreen. Get away from him, Doreen. He'll kill you when he's finished with you, too. Now, Lieutenant Skitters. Why so melodramatic? You underestimate me considerably. Haven't you heard the old saying, never bite the hand that feeds you? Well, she's a darn good little cook, and she feeds me very well. And she satisfies my sexual needs. And as they say, there's so many fish in the ocean. There's lots and lots of other girls out there I can go kill. Well, I mess up a good thing. That's what I always say. I'm sure you understand that, Lieutenant Skitters. Anyway, I'm afraid it's getting to be time for me to go out roaming the countryside, so you'll forgive us, Lieutenant Skitters, if we take off. Sorry you can't join us, but it looks as if you're tied up at the moment. I will, of course, fill you in on my nocturnal activities tonight. I'll bring you back a picture of my latest handiwork.
The Murgatroyd Police, this is the dispatcher.
Hello,
what can I help you with?
This is Lieutenant Skitter's wife, Helen, and I was wondering if any of you guys at the station had heard from him yet. He flew off to Paris, France about 4 days ago, and I only heard from him once right after he landed and was at his hotel room. He normally calls me every night when he is out of town, and it's just got me a little worried, that's all. Tell Chief Driggs I said hello and to give me a call if he knows anything.
Have a
Bye,
good evening,
Carl, and
Mrs.
thanks.
Skitters. I will give Chief Driggs your message. Don't worry, I am sure the Chief will call you the minute we've heard something back. The Lieutenant. Good night.
Oh Flashy, oh Flashy, it's happening. It's happening. I am going into labor. I am about to give birth to the twins. Hold my hand, Flashy.
There,
Hold my
Flashy
hand.
3, both I and the original Flashy will be right here with you as you give birth, and we will help raise these twins just like we did the original paper towel twins that the original Flashy here gave birth to. This is a wonderful and exciting time for all of us. Flashy 3.
There's one thing you
for all
hate,
of us.
and he told me, yet, Flashy 3. And that is, who on earth is the father of these two twins? Other than Woody and me, there were no other living paper dolls around back in 2016, so that must mean that the father is a human. Oh boy, here they come. Here they come. And it looks like they are both little girls. The twins are two twin girls. Oh goodness, Flashy 3. Just take a look at them. They are little darlings, all right, but my God, they look just like their father, Uncle Frank. I guess I am going to call them the Uncle Frank twins. Yes, the Uncle Frank twins, Flashy 4 and Flashy 5. Just look at them. Look at them.
France on a mission to avenge the dishonor of his daughter Shimiko, Mr. Fudiki Hiramoto has zeroed in on a Murgatroyd serial killer in a small village outside of Paris and is now about to corner his prey and exact his revenge once and for all time.
That he is in this village. I've seen him here. The binoculars. Tonight, Murgatroyd serial killer, you die. Tonight, my young, innocent daughter, her honor, shall be avenged. Yes, tonight you feel the wrath of my car. You will feel the wrath of this sword. Tonight, Murgatroyd serial killer, you die. He got me good with that samurai sword. I'm bleeding profusely. He thinks I'm dead. At least he's gone now. Gotta drag myself, gotta stumble somehow to that energy time flux field. It appears intermittently a few hundred feet from the Eiffel Tower. Gotta make it to the Eiffel Tower. Gotta make it to that energy time flux device. I can't collapse. I can't pass out. I'm bleeding. Oh, God, he got me good. He cut me up good. I may or may not survive, but at least I can get away from here. Get to another time. Maybe I'll get medical help there. I've got to survive. Got to survive.
Fudiki Hiramoto, the Japanese business magnate, held a live online press conference from an unknown location in which he announced to the world that he had slain the Murgatroyd serial killer in a
Judy Vincini. I assure you, your son, Eric, is not dead. You see, I wield, as you know, enormous influence here in France and throughout other European nations. And that was a false flag news report. That's a false news story, a cover story. You see, the French authorities did not recover Eric's body. Yes, there was a lot of blood. Something happened, definitely. But I assure you, Eric escaped and made his way somewhere. Not absolutely certain at this point where, Judy, but of course, if I find anything out, we'll be the first to know. I assure you of that. I hope everything is going okay back there at Vincini Cosmetics, and I'll take care of things on this end. Lieutenant Skitters did arrive in Europe, but he seems to have left. Best as I can tell, he's certainly no longer a guest in my castle, shall we say? Well, I think I have other business to attend to at the moment, Judy, but I will, of course, let you know as soon as I find anything out about Eric. Goodbye,
Well,
Judy.
Count Pedestrian, please take care of Doreen and please let me know as soon as you find anything else out about my son Eric. Talk to you again soon.
Well, Mayor Paransky himself. It is such an honor to have you here on my couch. And as you know, when we ended the last session, we talked about how this session I was going to hypnotize you. I'm going to take you back to your childhood. You're going to get sleepy. You're going back. 5, 4, 3, 2. The memories will come flooding back. I want you to just tell me what you see, Mayor Paransky. What's happening in your childhood? Tell me. Yes. It's all appearing to me. Yes. It's my mom. She's a Madame Paransky. She's a card reader because Daddy's drunk all the time and unemployed and never works. So she puts food on the table by reading the cards that people come by, and she reads the card. And so, yeah, I'm sitting there at the kitchen table, and Mom is practicing with me. She's reading my future.
Well, I can say you have a bright future ahead of you. Yes, you do. You do. First of all, you're going to meet and marry a woman just like your dear mom. Yes, she's going to be just like your mommy. Yes, she is. Oh, yes, she is. And guess what? The public of Murgatroyd is going to be an even bigger fool than you are, my son. They're going to elect you mayor. Yes, they are. They're going to vote you mayor. You're going to grow up and become mayor. That's what the Joker here says. Yes, I just spoke with the Joker there. Can I please have another slice of Wonder Bread? Oh, son. It's your wonder years. I wonder how I'm ever going to get you raised. Yes, go right ahead. Go get you yourself a slice of Wonder Bread, my child.
Fatal encounter with the samurai sword of Fujiki Hiramoto, the Murgatroyd serial killer, Eric Niedermeyer, has stumbled back through the energy time flux field near the Eiffel Tower. He has traveled through time to another time and another location in the not too distant future. A very interesting destination.
Well, look what the cat dragged in. I haven't seen you in 33 years. Why, Eric, you're quite wounded. Almost dead. You got attacked back in 2016. And you disappeared. Bet you never guessed that I would be ruling the world alongside Prince Devane of the North American continent when you reemerged. Everyone back in 2016 wondered what happened to you. I can see you've been cut up badly, and the news reports at the time said you had been a victim of a samurai sword. They thought you were dead. That was the cover story that the French authorities put out at the time. Ironic, isn't it? Poetic justice. Those who live by the sword die by it? Ha ha, only you didn't die. The original Dr. Getrick, of course, once upon a time brought you to life. Now I suppose here you are and his grandson, Dr. Getrick, can help keep you alive again. You see, the war with the paper dolls is not going particularly well for the human side, or for me, King Pedestrian III. And I'm afraid I'm going to need your ruthless DNA, Eric, to build a new super biotech weapon. You won't be going anywhere this time, Eric.
Wow. Detroit had a drive-in theater in the 50s? Wow. This is like totally awesome. Oh, this is so cool. Man, it doesn't get any better than this. A drive-in theater in the 50s. I can like skateboard right in there and catch some old classic movies. Wow. This is so cool.
Bar for delicious treats and eats for the entire family. Ice cold drinks and yummy chocolate covered treats. Murgatroyd's finest drive-in theater for your nighttime entertainment.
An evil reborn from the grave of Frankenstein, bringing a macabre nightmare to a teenage world of... You've lost the urge to experiment.
Oh, every time you touch me, I go out of my mind.
That girl to death. The Beach Girls and the Monster, starring John Hall, Sue Casey, and the glamorous Watusi dancing girls from Hollywood's famed Whiskey A Go-Go nightclub.
The monster of Piedras Blancas, the world's most shocking monster, stalks its unsuspecting prey, feasts its eyes on the next victim to writhe, turning a lonely lighthouse village into a frenzied bedlam of blood-curdling horror. Never have you known such cringing terror, such drawn by love to the forbidden cove of the sea monster, then trapped in a torment of unendurable suspense.
Good evening, folks. We have a shocking show for you tonight. we have Lieutenant Skitters of Murgatroyd here tonight, and all of you know him from the Murgatroyd serial killer case on which he was the lead investigator. Lieutenant Skitters will be making some startling revelations tonight. Also, our guest tonight is Doreen Thompson, a blind woman who returned from Murgatroyd from France in the company of Lieutenant Skitters. Their story is frightening and incredible. Lieutenant Skitters tells us exactly what happened to the two of you that night.
Well, Les, first of all, I want to thank you very much for having us both here on the show. To some degree, it's at a certain level of risk that I'm doing this. I mean, the mayor's not happy, Senator Devane's not happy. Put it this way, we successfully escaped from Count Pedestrian's castle. I'm not making any of this up. If it had not happened to me personally, I wouldn't believe it myself. I was, in fact, held prisoner in the dungeon below Castle Pedestrian. I was, in fact, chained to the wall. And the serial killer, who apparently has, at this point in time, according to the French authorities at least, been slain by a samurai sword in some kind of samurai battle in a small village outside of Paris. Apparently, Eric Niedermeyer is, in fact, dead. But let me just say this. He came down into the dungeon while I was chained to the wall, laughed and mocked, and he was very definitely being harbored by Count Pedestrian, whom the French authorities will not touch. I went over there initially. Let me back up just a minute. My entire purpose for going over there, as you know, was after the DNA evidence and the photographic and visual evidence had come from the slaying of Blatson the artist atop the Eiffel Tower, unequivocally identifying the killer as a person that we believed at that point to have been dead. We later found out differently. Eric Niedermeyer, the Murgatroyd serial killer, had been identified as the killer of Blatson the artist. I flew from Murgatroyd to Paris, France, to help in the investigation with the French authorities. I got zero cooperation, no cooperation whatsoever. I simply was initially going to Count Pedestrian's castle for the intention of talking to him because I knew that Blatson the artist had lived here in a mansion that belonged to Count Pedestrian for some years. In fact, they had a close relationship of whatever kind for a period of time. Then there was a falling out of some kind. I'm sure most of you know this because Blatson had quite a mouth on him. And Blatson was evicted or kicked out of Count Pedestrian's mansion here in Murgatroyd. As fate would have it and as time would have it, evidently, the Count allowed this character, this Eric Niedermeyer, whom we had believed I identified him at that wedding, lest at your own wedding, whenever you and Imogene were getting married and the sniper shot Eric Niedermeyer, and he was apparently dead, and I identified him as being dead at the time, wasn't the case. Somehow, I don't know exactly how, Eric Niedermeyer survived that fatal gunshot at your wedding and was there in France, was staying in the castle of Count Pedestrian, and was down there in the dungeon laughing and mocking while I was chained to the wall. Count Pedestrian himself came down there with a bottle of wine, just having a great time that I was his prisoner. And, you know, it's the most appalling thing. Had it not been for this young blonde lady, Doreen, who accompanies me, having obtained the keys and having freed me at a point in time, should I say, that further down the road, after we had heard a news bulletin from the French authorities that Eric Niedermeyer had in fact been battle. He's still missing, but the French authorities, Lady Doreen here, will say abducted by Eric Niedermeyer. She was duped by him. She helped him here in Murgatroyd initially. She never with the she was aware of this. She did not learn this until they're in France, in a strange country, in a strange castle. Well, there you have it. And at any rate, we're back, we're alive, we're in one piece. It's been an experience for both of us, obviously. And because of certain diplomatic immunity that Count Pedestrian enjoys, it is impossible for the United States legal system to touch him. It was impossible for me to touch him. But I'm getting on the air now, and I want to announce this to the world at large. And I will do whatever is necessary to bring this monster, and I believe Count Pedestrian is a monster, to justice, not only for imprisoning me within a dungeon and allowing that to take place, but for allowing this Murgatroyd serial killer who claimed 22 victims right here in Murgatroyd, killed Blatson the artist, and has killed 2 young women in a village outside of Paris, France. 25 known victims at the very least, and we don't know what else hasn't been traced to this killer. And the assumption right now by the French authorities, at least the official story, is that he's dead. But anyway, Les, I'm glad to be here, and I thank Doreen for freeing me, and I'm going to, at this point, turn the show over to Doreen and to you and to anyone in the audience who might want to ask a question about all of this. Thank you very much, Les.
We, the staff and management here at CRZY Television, wish to apologize for the minor audio difficulties that we have been experiencing during tonight's edition of the Les Tomac Show.
For taking me out to lunch, Judy Vinci. I am doing well, back in my old apartment. I am sure that you are aware that I did not inform Lieutenant Skitters about you having been at the castle of Count Pedestrian, nor did I tell him about you having kept Sharon CLO as a prisoner in the dungeon prior to his arrival and his own captivity in the dungeon. I kept all of that to myself out of respect for you, Judy, and for your kindness. And I know how heartbroken you must be that your son turned into a
ladies
serial
care
killer.
for another glass of wine. How about something for dessert today? The chef has some excellent pastries on the menu today.
Bring this over here to this table, me and it's my wife and Suki. It's our anniversary. We've never been here before. We usually just go down there to Drifty's and give us a triple. Oh, looky there. I recognize you. You're Judy Vincini, aren't you? I've seen you on the TV a lot. And, hey, my name is Uncle Frank here, and it's Aunt Suki. Y'all might have heard me call in on them call-in talk radio show. Now, I see you on the news like you with that Vincini Cosmetic Corporation and all. Judy, it's nice to meet you and everything. I didn't mean to interrupt y'all's lunch and all. It's me and the wife are going to sit down over here and celebrate our anniversary and all. We've been married 55 years. Waiter, would you get us some wine? Thank you.